Right, so let's review this then. This is a Servis KRS 1500A. The A's for the energy rating. It was made. This one was actually built in 2001, which basically shows you how kind of behind the times were for Servis. With the mechanical timer. By this point, you know, everything had turned to single sector program dials. But anyway, we'll skip over that and look into the machine. So, our door handle's here. We can pull it open. There's a 2-minute door lock wait at the end of the cycle. However, I find that these door handles on these machines are very flimsy. If you're a little heavy-handed, you can very easily rip that handle off. The other thing is, I've had it in the past where the door seal becomes so sticky that opening the door involves pulling more force on the door handle, which subsequently can end up snapping the door handle by accident. Talking of the door seal, right, I'll just show you. So this door seal hasn't really changed much over the years, but this is the older door seal. It's exactly the same design with this, and the trouble was that water always gathered in here and just sat there. So to modify it, they put a drain hole, and that actually just returns straight back to the tub. The other reason why they did that, another reason is because the way it fills. So because it fills from the side here, it actually ends up coming down the door seal, and of course ends up pooling detergent in here. Now what that means is that the detergent just didn't get used on the older models and just sit there doing nothing. A bit of a waste. So all that detergent at least then is going back into the tub and actually getting used. So while this is a design flaw, it's been rectified. Obviously we've got mould here slightly. Anyway, once I've already uploaded it, or you've already seen it, I've also had the 1000 KRS as well. But what makes this one and the 1000 KRS slightly different is the suspension. I get that the 1000 KRS is slightly older, but the suspension on this is different. In fact, it uses the same kind of suspension setup as Hotpoint WMAs. But other than that, nothing else has changed. The filter is the same. I love this filter at the bottom here. That becomes a little ramp off for the filter to drain, so you can put a bowl there, and it even like kind of fits because obviously it's variable. That is literally just a filter. You twist it, you pull it out, and voila, you can take out what's ever gathered. And the pump is actually at the back of the machine. And the thing is, it never gets stuck either. It's actually a really ingenious design. You know, I do want to I will make a video one day about Servis and actually how good these Maloney services are. Right, obviously we've got the 4-paddle drum. This hasn't actually changed at all. The seam weld is there for the drum to connect it, and then we've got 4 paddles with the holes in. So this is rainwave, because the same drum on this is a rainwave, is here with the same seam. So nothing's actually changed in like 12 years at this point. So there we go. Right, so the machine comes with 14 programs, all listed on the detergent drawer here. So we have program 1, which is pre-wash plus 95-degree cottons. Program 2, which is 95-degree cottons. 3, 60-degree colour fast cottons. So it's just got to be noted that both program 2 and 3 are around the same length, despite the temperature difference, and about 2.5 hours. They're not short at all. 4 is 40-degree non-fast coloured cottons. I think this is around now 45-ish. 5, super rinse and spin. This does 3 rinses and a final spin. 6, rinse and fast spin. Obviously does fabric softener, rinse followed by the fast spin at 1500 RPM. 7, fast spin at 1500 RPM. Obviously that's the maximum spin speed for this machine. 8 pre-wash plus 60-degree white nylon. 9 60-degree white nylon. I found out these are about 2 hours long. It's not too bad. 10 40-degree economy wash, about 70-ish minutes long. 11 rinse and spin. This is a fabric softener rinse, 1 rinse and a slow spin. 12 slow spin, which is about 800 RPM. 13 35-degree wool and wool mixtures. And if for some bizarre reason, slow spin again is labelled on 14, which is a bit weird considering you've already got slow spin at program 12. Ideally, should have been really a drain only program somewhere on it. So instead of having wool at like 13 and having a drain set to right at the end, maybe, but they haven't bothered, which is a bit annoying. Right, then we've got 2 buttons. We've got on off and the half load function, which will allow you to wash at a lower wash level and rinse level for half a load of garments on the cotton cycle. This is obviously the program dial. It's a mechanical dial that turns clockwise only, never turn it anti-clockwise, otherwise you'll break it. Right, so there's program 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These little red markers are stops. We've got a little wool symbol here, in case you didn't realise that you've got a wool program. Then we've got slow spin, stop, program 1. So this is where it gets annoying. So that looks like lined up for program 2, cotton 95. And that's program 3, Colour Fast Cotton 60. But it is very easily, you can put it on program 3 by accident when you've been wanting a white cotton 95 cycle. And then obviously it only heats up to 60, which is rather annoying. Obviously non-fast cottons is way over here, so at least you can't get that wrong. Obviously then super rinse, then you got a few rinses, then 6, 7, and then back to stop. The reason why there's such a gap between 5 and 6, despite only being 2 rinses, is simply because this machine is programmed to have extra rinse functioning, but just not particularly on this machine. So it will actually run a 4th rinse if with the extra rinse function on other models. But it doesn't have it, unfortunately. Off. Then we've got our green pilot light, which is actually orange. Yeah. Right, so this is our detergent drawer. If we select pre-wash plus on any programs, we're going to put powder in here and here. If you just select any other program, just put powder in here. If you select rinse programs, obviously don't use these two. And you got the option of using fabric softener if you wish. You then put it in here. So we've got our powder. I'm going to put in the main middle drawer there. Now, what people might not realise is that this is actually an overall improvement over the old drawer, simply because it's actually bigger, and it's really necessary to have a bigger drawer on this. So there we go. We got like, that's 100ml powder, and it's barely anything in there. So it looks like we have a 200ml, 400ml, and 100ml compartments there. Right, so before we finish this review off, I'm going to redo the spin again. Now this is a problem. It did a very kind of short, slow spin then. Well, just a slow spin. Because I had accidentally over-advanced it one. But if I redo it again... I get dead on 7... It should do the full 1500 spin this time. all done. Actually, they're quite crease free despite being 1500 RPM. That's not bad. For once, it actually starts to smell fine. Ish. But that might be because I've added more detergent, which people might not realise then. But anyway, then. I'm going to give this out of 10 then. Well, it's going to get 8 out of 10. The fact is, I've got to add a lot more detergent than normal to get the same wash results than other machines of this, even this time era. Again, programmer, one notch out and you get a completely different program, or it might just not want to work properly. The fact that 2 and 3 are right next to each other, really annoying. Really, really annoying. Obviously, this door handle could be been designed a little bit better, so at least it wasn't as flimsy. But then again, you know, it could have come out like that. That'd been quite cool. But even so, design-wise, reliability, weirdly, is very good with these. But unfortunately, it always fell into the hands of the wrong people. Because they were actually very cheap. They were very cheap to buy. And I think that's mostly because, like, a lot of the technology inside these is a bit out of date. It's quite out of date at this point. But the filter design is one of the reasons why I think it's very good, very well built. The filter design is also the very reason why a lot of these got thrown away. Simply put it, they just never got cleared out. People often throw these out after 2 years, 3 years, of it not draining. It had nothing to do with the pump, it was just simply because the filter was clogged after all. And they got clogged up quite quickly. Other things, the brushes would sometimes wear out very quickly, but that was sometimes just down to a bad set of brushes. Still, people would just chuck these out. They were bought in their droves, and unfortunately, it was Servis who then Maloney just couldn't keep up, and then filed for bankruptcy eventually in 2007, which was a bit annoying, since these were really good machines, and the rights were then sold to Ardo. So Ardo now continue making this design, using the same 4-pad drum, with similar design, like the filter's still the same I think on Ardo's, but it'd be nice to get a modern Ardo in to see what it looks like. The only Ardo made machines we can get over here though there's one integrated model on our market that we can get hold of. Go abroad and you can get hold of Ardos a lot more easily. Cool. Out of 10 then, it's got, like I said, 8 out of 10. Really good all-rounder actually. The terms of like reliability, build quality, that final spin, the structure was so rigid that it just made it wobble. But it wasn't wobbling, it was so structurally rigid that you just did that on the final spin. No flex. Cool. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.